Good evening, everybody. I welcome all the participants for 9-day national level online faculty development program on foregrounding the spectrum of character building in modern human life. As a part of schedule, today's is day 3. The topic is growth is not an option by Mr. Rajeev YSR. Before going to start the session, it's my duty to introduce today's resource person, Mr. Rajeev. I request Mr. Shyam Kolati is a assistant professor of humanities and sciences. You please give brief biodata about today's resource person. Over to Mr. Shyam.
Sure, sir. Thank you. Mr. Rajeev YSR, a dynamic and motivational leader with more than 11 years of work experience across different parts of the world in P&L, sales, strategy, operations, product and project management. He's an IIT Madras product. He got both his bachelor's and master's from IIT Madras. So with an incredible track record of building high-performing teams, products and businesses and delivering results. Part of global leadership program at Mahindra and Bosch with 6 months of international work experience in Germany. With diverse experience of working in dynamic startups as well as established MNCs, developed exceptional communication, persuasion, and critical decision-making skills. Highly adaptable leader with an ability to work independently and motivate teams towards achievement of organizational goals. And he believes that growth is not an option. Then what? And he says it's an obligation for everyone, and if only everybody acknowledges and achieves the same, the world would be a different place, a better place. In this context, he also designed a workshop titled 10x Growth with Rajeev YSR, where he condensed all his 11 plus years of work experience into practical sessions, which will challenge the existing status quo and put the participants into 10x growth mode. The workshop was conducted to more than 2,000 candidates that included students along with leadership teams from Indian Postal Services and Indian Oil Corporation. Okay, it's my privilege to introduce Mr. Rajeev YSR. He is ready to dive into the session. Let's welcome Mr. Rajeev YSR. Yes, sir. Mr. Rajeev YSR.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. A very good evening to all of you. I'm not sure if my camera is working right now. It is very interesting, right? When somebody said life is all about uncertainties, very least did I know that I will encounter these uncertainties as many number of times as possible. It's because, yeah, if you can hear me and follow me, please mention in the YouTube comment box. That's because of the rains, GHMC has taken the initiative to, I would say, lay down certain drainage systems and stuff like that. And in the process, they cut the cord, they cut the Airtel broadband cord, and then our signals, both in terms of the Wi-Fi as well as our signals in terms of the, even the mobile signals are very poor, right? But still, we have decided that we will move ahead, and I hope you are able to hear me. Seeing me may or may not be possible, but let me, without much delay, let me take you through all further today's topic, which is growth is not an option, but an obligation. Now, when it comes to growth, many of us would kind of think that, hey, you know what? These are all terminologies, these are all wordings, these are all language which is generally spoken by the motivational leaders, the inspirational, I would say, speakers, or the CXOs, or right, only great people. And we always try to think that growth is something which is outside there, which is only available and accessible to just few people, and growth is an alien word or alien term to us, right? Most of the times, this is what we think. Now, how many of you think in the same context of what I've just said, that they expect or they assume growth to be something outside and not inside? If you have been thinking in the same context, probably you can type the same in the comment box. In fact, for many, I would say, years, even I thought the same, right? Even I thought the same, that growth is a word which is external, which generally has to come from outside, which is generally, I would say, addressed by people who are external, and this is nothing to do with the internal stuff. But then, thanks to God for giving the opportunity to study at different good universities. I did my bachelor's and master's from IIT Madras. I had opportunity to work with some of the best industries, best organizations in the industry, and best leaders in the organizations, which kind of really challenged me by thinking, and it kind of pushed me to think that growth is not necessarily an external topic, but it is something internal. If you still don't believe me, right, just think along with me in this direction. Look at the plants, look at the animals, right? Look at the nature. Why there? Even look at people like us, right? Even the human beings. We are not the same. When we were born, probably we are 1 feet in complete length and size, and then we tend to grow every day. So growth basically is not something external, but growth is something which is internal for all of us. Now, if growth is internal and growth is an innate nature of nature, how much more it is true that we being part of the nature, that growth is also an innate nature of us? If growth is an innate nature of us, do you think growth would remain as an option anymore? I don't think so. If growth is innate nature of us, it doesn't remain as an option anymore. In fact, it's an obligation. We are bound to grow. If we are bound to grow, why not grow at 10x speed, at 10x, I would say, size, and at 10x weights? Let me also tell you about a few other examples. If you look at established organizations, right, they speak about a 10% growth. And if you look at startups, they might be talking about 100% growth year on year, right? But now we are talking about 1,000% growth. What does it mean? 1,000% growth is nothing but a 10x growth. Now, as long as I was talking to you about 10x as a growth, you must be thinking that yes, 10x as a growth is possible. But when I translated the 10x into 1,000%, that is where the first question of, I would say, reality check has come to you. Now, it is at this point of time, I would like to remind the words of late Dhirubhai Ambani Garu. You know what he said? He said, think big, think differently. And for those who dare to dream, there is a whole world to conquer and win. But most of the times we might wonder, can I really do that? Is 10x growth possible in my life? What do you mean by 10x growth? Say, just for an example, for it being an, I would say, a practical example. Imagine your cost to the company or your salaries at this point of time, say 10 lakhs per annum, example. Now, what do we mean by 10x growth? We are talking about a 1 CR per annum kind of a growth. Now you might wonder, can 10 lakhs ever happen 1 CR? Well, that is the first question which ever comes to us, because from the childhoods we were always taught, or we are programmed, or we are wired to think only incrementally but not exponentially. Do you believe that? Are we not trained? Are we not groomed? Are we not tutored to think only incrementally and not exponentially? We always think that, oh my God, is it really possible? Can I actually do it? Well, let me share a small story at this point of time with you. In a circus, there was at one point of time an elephant. Now, in this circus, this elephant is the talk of the town. Now, what happened one evening, that somebody visited the circus, they were thinking that the complete town is in the circus because the circus has been there for so many weeks and people were talking about the gigantic great mammoth which would come onto the stage and it would perform great feats and great action sequences. Now that has become the darling of the town. And one day, unfortunately, what happened? This great elephant, this great animal, this great mammoth, when it walks, the stage vibrates, and you have no option but to be caught by its attention. It just doesn't have to do anything, just its majestic stand and walk would turn heads and eyes towards that particular elephant. And such great elephant one day was caught in the fire accident. What happened? When it was caught in the fire accident, many people, many animals, birds, most of those guys escaped. Of course, the team of the organization or the organizing committee of the circus did not really bother to check out on the elephant because they were very confident that the elephant would escape by itself. Because it is not tied to any heavy log. All it is tied is to a small wood that was drilled into the ground. Now, interestingly, the next day when people have come to assess the laws of the circus, they have found the elephant to have been killed, charred to death, just at the place where it was. Not an inch, not a feet did the elephant move. They were all surprised. How can this ever happen? This is beyond comprehension. Such a great elephant could not move from the fire accident and it stayed back only to die. And they were surprised and they were confused of what's happening. And then they watched very closely on what's happening with respect to the elephant. And then they realized that one of the legs of the elephant was tied with a small chain to the wooden drill bit that was drilled into the ground. Now, that's a very, very tiny small chain. All it takes is one move of the leg of the elephant and that wooden drill bit would be out of its place from the ground. But that small drill bit was able to hold that elephant there and kill it. Now, my friends, people try to understand what could be the reason behind all of this. And then the understanding has come like this. The elephant, while it was a baby elephant, while it was young, it was tied to that wooden drill bit. Probably as a young elephant, as it was growing up, it would have tried multiple times to escape from those bondages. But probably when the elephant was too small, the strength of the drill bit prevailed and the elephant was not able to dislocate. The elephant would have tried once, twice, thrice, probably multiple number of times. And what happened? It was etched in the minds of the elephant that, hey, you know what? This wooden bit is too strong for me to overcome. And then what happened? Even at the time of the accident, the elephant did not attempt because it was bound mentally that the strength of the chain is stronger, bigger, and greater than the strength of the animal. Now, there is a reason why I made this statement. You know, who is the biggest enemy who is not allowing us to grow in life? Do you know who is the biggest enemy who is always stopping our success? We might always think that the biggest enemy is that colleague of mine, that friend of mine, that teacher of mine, or that relative of mine. But let me tell you, the biggest enemy is none other than we ourselves. You know why? Because it is those thoughts which bind us. It is just like the synonym of the elephant. It's just like the story of the elephant. Probably we would have tried once, we would have tried twice, we would have tried thrice or 4 times in our lives. And when things did not happen as per our expectation, we would have given up, saying that, hey, you know what? It could never happen. But then, who is at loss? We are at loss. We are at loss. Like the way the great elephant could not prevail the strength of a small wooden drill bit that was drilled onto the ground, we also most of the times are captives of our own thoughts, our own limitations. Ask for yourself, how many times have you ever told yourself that, hey, you know what, this cannot happen with me, even without giving an attempt and even without giving a try, for the very simple damn reason that you would have attempted this in the past and you were not able to achieve in the past, and you have decided for yourself and you're told for yourself that, yes, I cannot do this even in the future also, and hence I am bound by my thoughts. How many of us have let go on great opportunities that have come up our way for this simple lack of confidence that we can do it? Now, I know we have professors across the country, we have students also joining. My friends, I would like to encourage you this evening that we cannot be bound by our thoughts. And it's this evening, and this is the time that to let those chains break free. It is this time that we need to come out, break free, and then start thinking beyond the mediocrity. Start thinking beyond the ordinary. Start thinking beyond the mundane stuff. It's time to unleash that extraordinary one in you. It's time to unleash strong, I would say, urge for growth or desire for growth in you. Right? Now, tell me, do you think 10x is impossible? Do you think achieving growth is a humongous task? Do you think growth is external and not internal? I don't think so. And I don't want you to think so. Right? Now, let's continue. Now, when we are talking about 10x growth, we are not talking about, let's now understand the kind of, I would say, let me bring you a little more, I would say, synonyms. Let me bring you a little more illustrations so that it becomes even more clearer to you. When we talk about 10x growth, we are not talking about a human being who is running between 12 to 15 kilometers per hour, and we expect that human being to run 120 to 150 kilometers per hour. No, that's not the attempt at all. It is not efficiency increase, it is not a productivity increase. It's not that we let the human being run from 12 to 15 kilometers per hour. No, I'm talking about cheetah that runs at 120 to 150 kilometers per hour. We are not talking about a car which right now runs probably at 100 kilometers per hour. We are not talking about a car to run at 600 to 900 kilometers per hour. No, we are talking about an aeroplane which cruises, right? Leashing. Right? Now, we are not talking about Burj Khalifa, which is of the tallest building in the world of 828 meters. We are not talking about Burj Khalifa of 828 meters, and we are not talking about an 8-kilometer building. What we are talking about is the Mount Everest of 8,000 meters high. My friends, what is it that I'm trying to communicate here is, for us to think in the context of 10x growth, we have to think from a different realm. We cannot think from the realm of ordinary and assume that we achieve extraordinary. Right? Do you agree with me? If you agree with me, type that yes, you agree with me. I understand there are certain issues in terms of connectivity. As I told you, that there is some kind of a construction work that is happening near the society that I'm living, and it looks like certain cables were cut, and hence my broadband is out. But I do not want to disappoint so many teachers who have been, or professors and students who have been waiting for this session, and we have decided that I will join the session from a mobile, and even if the video doesn't work, that's all right. I will try to pass on as much as possible the bottom of my heart through my audio, so that you will be able to understand what exactly is my passion of communicating and telling you that growth is not an option, but an obligation. Yeah, we cannot operate from the same realm and then think that I'm going to achieve 10x growth. No, there needs to be a change. There needs to be a change. Okay, then you might be asking, sir, how can I get that change? Can that change ever come to me? Will I be able to ever get that particular growth? Right? Some of you might be thinking, sir, whatsoever I touch, it becomes a failure. Whatever I touch, whatever I attempt, whatever I think, it is always a failure. Well, some of you would have heard stories of people, and you were the man, that particular woman, whatever they touch turns into gold. Have you ever heard this? That this fellow, whatever he touches, it turns into ashes, and the other fellow, whatever he touches, it turns into gold. Have you ever heard of it? Yeah, if so, type that you have heard of this. Do you want to know the secret of why such things happen? And that's again, that's not what do I say? That's not some kind of a cock and bull story. It's true. People exist in that context. There are people, whatsoever they touch, it turns into ashes, and there are people, whatsoever they touch, it turns into gold. And let me tell you, this has nothing to do with astrology. This has nothing to do with some kind of science and wonders, and it has nothing to do with the location of planets in your life. No. I'm not here to talk about astrology. I'm not here to talk about the planets. I'm not here to talk about saying that, hey, you do this and you will kind of elevate yourself from whatever position you are. No. There is a science and logic behind why this is happening. Are you excited to know what is that logic and what is the science behind it? If you are excited to know and you want to know, write it down, BIO, bring it on. BIO in the comment box. Bring it on. Yeah, I see a lot of you typing that. Right? BIO, bring it on. Now, let me give you that secret of why some people succeed and why some people do not. Yeah. Now, the first one, I'm sure some of you are professors from engineering stream also. You might be teaching your students on this technology or this technique called reverse engineering. While I was working with TVS Motors as a design engineer, in 2010. And when we design new variants and new vehicles, what we do is we do something called reverse engineering. We look at the competitor's vehicle, we dismantle, we bring the whole vehicle, we understand different parameters, right? And then we disassemble them into multiple systems. And then finally, we try to understand why that particular vehicle is able to perform better. And then we try to introspect and get those design features into our things on how can we make those particular change in our designs. And this process is called reverse engineering, right? Now, I'm going to adopt the same reverse engineering technique for you to unleash or to unveil that particular secret. I know the video is struck because as I said, the signal here is very, very, very poor because of the infrastructure work that is happening. So kindly bear with me. I will try my best to communicate even probably the passion that I'm trying to do it through video, through my audio and through my voice, so that you'll be able to understand what is it that I'm attempting to make and speak. Now, if at all we are talking about the reverse engineering thing, so the first thing is, let's get to the results. So reverse engineering is to start with the results and then come to the design of the component level, right? That is when you understand how you are able to get those results and what changes you need to make at the design level. That is what is called as reverse engineering. Okay. Now, let us say if we want to achieve 10x results. Okay. Now, how can we achieve such extreme growth 10x results? We can achieve 10x results only when our actions are 10x oriented. Do you agree with me? Only when you put in efforts, only when you show your actions as 10x, you are able to achieve 10x results. Do you believe? Do you agree? If so, type yes, I agree. Now, if your actions are to be 10x oriented, if your actions are to be 10x scale, what is important to be at 10x level? Your thoughts need to be at 10x level. Yeah. If you need 10x results, you need 10x actions. If you need 10x actions, you need 10x thoughts. And if you need 10x thoughts, your belief system should be 10x. Right? If you need 10x thoughts, your belief system should be 10x. Now, this is where it gets very, very, very interesting, my friends. What will your belief system depend upon in general? Take a wild guess. On what does your belief system depend upon? Yes. Okay, some of you are typing upbringing, some of you are typing different things, right? Yes, the belief system depends upon the experience one has gone through. Do you believe with me? Do you agree that it is your experience that defines your belief system? Okay, now where do you get this experience? The experience is nothing but the results in the first place which you attempted to get. The results become your experiences, and your experiences influence your belief system. Right? Now let us get into this particular understanding. Imagine your experience, your results are always poor. Imagine your results are always poor and you're not able to achieve what you want to achieve. Right? And that becomes your experience, which is influencing your belief system. So how do you start even before doing anything? You will tell to yourself, "Arey, this exam also I will fail. That job also I will lose. That relationship also I will fail. This business also I will fail," right? Your belief system and your thoughts start from the framework of failure from the beginning itself. Now, when your thought system itself is a failure thought system, what actions will get in? Your actions also will be failure oriented. You would not be putting the efforts that you are intended to put those efforts. You would not be looking at things on how you can kind of really overcome and something. Your actions also, you will put it just like that, very light. And when you put your actions from the framework of failure, your results also will be what? Write it down. Failure. Type it down. Your results also will be failure. And when your results are failure, what happens? These results will further convert into experience, and then they start influencing your belief system. So this is a downward spiral, my friends. Do you agree with me? This is a downward spiral. Now let us look from the other hand. Let us look in the different perspective, from the other perspective. Imagine you have experiences of success in your life. Imagine you have results that have really motivated and said, Sabhash, you have done a fantastic job. Now, in the next assignment, what you would do, you would start from the belief system that, yes, I can do it. And when you start with the belief system that, yes, you can do it, your thoughts that would come out of your mind are thoughts of positiveness, are thoughts of hope, are thoughts of strength, which even if certain obstacles come, these thoughts will try to understand how can they overcome such obstacles. And then these powerful 10x thoughts will influence and your 10x actions. And when you implement those 10x actions, you get 10x results. Now, this is an upward spiral. Result after result, experience after experience. You would start witnessing growth, you would start witnessing success. That is why some people, whatever they touch, it becomes successful because they operate from the framework of success. Their belief system is success oriented. Whereas some people operate out of the failure of the framework of failure, their belief system is not success oriented. Now, this belief system, there was a great work done by a psychologist called Dr. Carol Dweck from Stanford University. Now, the similar kind of a study, what I just mentioned, she further went into the details and then took interviews, took studies of people who were successful continuously and people who were failures continuously. And then she tried to bring a scientific framework of how certain people remain successful and certain people remain failure forever. And then whatever we said, she was able to structure that into two different mindsets. One is called the growth mindset, and then the other one is called the fixed mindset. Now, this is nothing but the success frame of mind and then the failure frame of mind. Now, I would like to stop by talking about this growth mindset and fixed mindset in the next probably 5 to 10 minutes. And I would like to answer the questions which come on the comments box for the next 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah, are you with me? Are you here with me so far? How many of you heard this, the scientific reason of why certain people are successful and why certain people are not successful for the first time, the way I have illustrated? How many of you heard it for the first time? If you have heard it for the first time, type it down in the comment box that first time. Type it down in the comment box that yes, it's my first time. Now, this is very, very important, my friends. This is really, really important for a single reason. I want you to all understand, because this is the time to reflect. This is the time to introspect. This is the time to impress upon our own inwardness. It is the time to look inside and then understand whether we are operating from the framework of success or whether we are operating from the framework of growth mindset or we are operating from the framework of failure or fixed mindset. Let's move on. Now, what is the difference between the growth mindset and fixed mindset? This is where I would like to tell to you. Now, in life, generally, when challenges and obstacles come, what do fixed mindset people do? Fixed mindset people tend to avoid those challenges. Why even have those challenges here when the life is going really good and happy and smooth and peaceful? Why should we have challenges? So fixed mindset people tend to avoid challenges. Whereas growth mindset people, they want to embrace those challenges. They want to own those challenges. They want to see how can they overcome those challenges. They see challenges as the stepping stones towards growth. And now when they come across the obstacles, the fixed mindset people give it up so easily. Probably they would have tried once, they would have tried twice, they would have tried thrice, but they kind of give it up easily. Now, this is where I would like to tell another small story, right? How many of you like stories here? I'm sure most of the professors here kind of use these stories even in your classrooms, right? So do you enjoy stories? If so, say yes, I enjoy. I'm also able to see certain questions. Anil Kumar Sharma ji asked, does luck play a vital role? I'll talk about it. Why do some people not get success even though they put more efforts? Yes, I'm going to talk about this in the growth and fixed mindset. Right now, this is the story I wanted to tell you. Right, there was a young man, right, in a village, and this young man generally makes his living by going to the mountains, the nearby hills, and breaking the huge boulders in stones and bring them and sell them. That is what his daily routine, and that is how he earns his money. Now, this man, right, this boulder crusher, once he started to hit the one of the biggest boulders that was available there, one of the biggest stones that was available there. Right now, he started hitting that stone. He hit that stone once. He hit that stone twice. He hit the stones thrice, 10 times, 20 times, 30 times, 40 times, almost 99 times. He hit that particular huge stone. His hands were all like red blood. His palms were completely bruised because of the huge strokes that he is striking that stone with. He hit 99 hits and then he paused for a while. He paused for a while and he thought to himself, oh man, I have put in 99 hits. I have hit this stone 99 times. I have put in lots of efforts. But then the stone hasn't broken even a small piece yet. There isn't even a single crack. Why should I further invest efforts? Why should I put, like somebody is asking luck, I'm going to answer that here. Why should I waste any one more stroke? Let me give it up. This stone is not bound to be broken. This stone is not meant to be broken, or the strength of the stone is too big for me to prevail. And at that 99th step, at that 99th stroke, he thought of giving up. But then he thought, let me give just one more attempt. And then he hit that 100th stroke. And you know what happened? At the stroke of 100, the huge stone, the huge boulder broke into two pieces. Now tell me something. Did the stone break because of that 100th stroke? How many of you agree that the stone broke because of the 100th stroke? If you agree, Type, say that, yes, I agree that the stone broke because of the 100th stroke. Well, let me tell you, this is where the interesting point is. The boulder did not break because of the 100th stroke, but then the boulder broke because of that 99 plus the one stroke. Now, why is it that I'm trying to tell you this? Because fixed mindset people give it up so easily. Fixed mindset people give it up so easily. They would have tried once, or maybe some of us, maybe people who are asking this question, right? I have put in a lot of efforts, but I'm not seeing the result. Maybe it is time for you to evaluate and understand. Probably you are living it. You are kind of living it at the 97th stroke, 98th stroke, or maybe at the 99th stroke. All it needs for you to hit that one another stroke to see that success. Right? Growth mindset people are persistent in their efforts. They're in the face of setbacks. They don't give it up so easily. Right? Now, to not give up so easily requires a lot of efforts, my friends. They require a lot of efforts. It's not easy to give up. It's not easy to be persistent. You a lot of efforts. And you know what fixed mindset people think? Your efforts are worthless. Efforts are fruitless. No, I cannot put any other efforts. I have done enough, cannot do beyond this. The reward for hard work is hard work. Yes, the reward for hard work is hard work. But are you bothered about that hard work, or are you embracing that hard work and then reward and achieving more? That's more important. That's exactly what is I'm trying to tell you this time, this thing, my friends. Growth mindset people look at efforts as the path to mastery. They don't look at efforts as futile or worthless or useless or waste of time. No. They look at efforts as the pathway towards mastery. Mastery effort as ways that is irritating, or efforts as something that you are really bothered about, bogged down. We're not here in hard work and to achieve. What are we here for? To lead a life of mediocrity? And is that what we demonstrate to the students, to the children, to the people around? That's exactly why I'm saying, my friends, that growth is not an option. No, it is fine. It is fine when we try, when we do, when we start. There are possibilities that we get criticism, we get criticized. Fixed mindset people, they get bogged down by criticism. They ignore useful negative feedback. You know what growth mindset people do? They learn from the criticism. And lastly, but not the least, fixed mindset people, when they look at the success of others, they feel insecure, they feel threatened. Whereas growth mindset people, when they look at success of others, they feel inspired. They try to find lessons on how they can build and grow. I would like to stop and kind of summarize what all we spoke so far. It is time for us to introspect and to reflect whether we are operating from the framework of growth mindset, or are we operating from the framework of fixed mindset. See, in general, how do we learn? Most of us learn by looking at our parents. Most of us learn by looking at our friends, teachers, colleagues, etc. And there's never a right yardstick to measure whether we are learning is right or wrong. It's an inductive learning. Probably this is the time for us to unlearn the things which are not relevant to us and learn new things. Maybe without even our knowledge, probably we have been captives of the fixed mindset. And this is the evening you got to break those chains and operate the frame of growth mindset. When you operate from the frame of growth mindset, you will embrace challenges. You will be persistent in your efforts. You will see efforts as pathway towards mastery. You will not ignore criticism, but you will learn from that criticism. You do not feel insecure or threatened by the success of others, but inspired, and you learn lessons from their path. And then what happens? Your results, your attempts, your results would be 10x oriented. Once your results are 10x oriented, your experience would be 10x oriented. Once your experience is 10x oriented, your belief system would be 10x oriented. If your belief system is 10x and growth oriented, so would be your thoughts, so would be your actions, and so would be your results. And you would continue to go in the upward spiral of achieving nothing less than this 10x growth. Right, my friends? I would like to challenge you. I would like to challenge you this evening and encourage you this evening. How long will we lead this life of mediocrity? God has given each of us some of the best talents and best resources to us. Probably we are not putting it to the use. Maybe if God willing, in the next session, I probably talk about some of you asking, how do I create, how can I create good habits? How can I come to this? How do I identify what my talents are? I will go and take a different session, if possible, sometime later, on how you can identify where your talent lies. There is a scientific framework again behind this on to identify where is your strength. When God has given us those talents, don't you think it is I would just call it a sin. It is sin that we are not living to the fullest of our abilities. Imagine this: if everyone starts living to the best of their abilities, if everyone starts delivering to the fullest of our capabilities, don't you think this world would be a better place for all of us to live? And I am a dreamer, and I dream of that world where everybody becomes a 10x growth achiever and makes this world the better place for all of us to live. Right? With this, let me end this particular session. Thank you very much. Though it was a lot of technical issues, technical lags, the video is not available, the slides were not available. My video was not visible, my face is not visible to you, yet you have carried forward with me, you have tarried with me, you have enjoyed with me throughout this session just by listening to the audio. And I believe that I was able to inspire at least a bit. I was able to move within you at least a bit. I was able to wake you up and then say, hey man, hey woman, what are you doing with the talents that you're given? Why are you leading a life of mediocrity when 10x growth is your calling? I wish and I hope that I was able to make that stir. I was able to stir your conscience and then say that it's time for you to 10x growth. Right? I hope you're able to. I hope I was able to inspire. I hope I was able to motivate. I hope I was able to give that is required. And now let me leave this session for your questions and feedbacks. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on LinkedIn by searching the name Rajeev YSR, RAJEV If you want to follow me on Facebook, search by name RAJEV YSR, Rajeev YSR on Facebook. On YouTube also RAJEV YSR. Just to tell you, this 10x growth as a workshop I have done for thousands of, I would say, students as well as professionals. The latest one to the leadership team of Indian Oil Corporation, and prior to that to the leadership team of Department of Posts, and then to 18,000 plus students are in this workshop across the world through my Udemy platform, 18,000 plus, and all of them are being repeated. I believe and I hope, and this is not just done, this is only a summary, right? There is a lot to it which you can get in that particular workshop. If you're interested, you can write it to me. I would sponsor for you so that you can learn it free of cost, paid on your behalf, full and complete, right? Thank you very much. Now I leave the session to Dr. Narayan Garu and his team for them to take things and take questions. Thank you very much to Shyam Kolati for inviting me. Thank you very much Karunashri Garu, Muhammad Azam Garu and Dr. Narayan Garu for making this particular thing possible. despite all these, I would say, technical glitches and all, you made this particular thing possible. You embraced the challenges, you overcame the obstacles, and we have demonstrated the growth mindset. Thank you very much.
So
Over to
that's great,
you.
sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Rajeev YSR. It was a stimulating and insightful talk. Thanks for that. And one comment from the audience is that your voice is dominating the deficiencies. I think you can take it as a compliment. Your voice is dominating the deficiencies. Okay.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And a couple of sentences I like from your talk were growth mindset people own the challenges. Another one, growth mindset people, they learn from criticism. Okay, so great ideas. Thank you so much. Yeah, here are some questions, sir, Mr. Rajeev. Number one.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, this is from Anil Kumar Sharma. Okay, does luck play a vital role in success? Okay, if it's so, very first time or later, or you say hard work and determination only contribute to success. So what exactly your opinion is?
Yes, yes. I would like to answer this particular thing. I'm sure we would all heard this particular thing that luck favors the brave. I would like to say luck favors the ones who work hard. It is something like this, right? When you prepare a pizza, and when you want to have a pizza, luck is more like those toppings, right? Luck is more like that seasoning, which probably if it is good, it is good. But then the base, right? The mayonnaise sauce, the cheese, the olives, that forms your hard work. So with the right hard work, even if luck favors you or doesn't favor you, you will still get the results. It will still be called as a pizza. Sometimes because of circumstances and incidents around, if at all the external environment supports you, which we kind of can name it as a luck, the top seasoning would happen, which would kind of, I would say, make it a little more delicious. But can we consider seasoning as pizza? No. I'm able to answer the question.
Yes, 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 sir, Mr. Rajiv. And also, I think,
Yeah,
yeah, as we said, even preparation meets the opportunity. That's also can be luck.
very true. Very true.
Yeah. Another question: why do some people? This is from Fanindra Jayanti. Why do some people not get success even though they put more efforts?
I think it is from the see again, as I said, right? If the framework that they begin is that I anyway do not get this interview, I anyway cannot crack this particular exam, I anyway cannot do this. If that is the framework in which they kind of begin, then even if they put enormous amount hard work, also that work is not result oriented, right? This could be the reason number one. Reason number two could be that maybe they are very close to success, like that 99 strokes, and probably they would have left at that 100 stroke. These are the two things. You need to believe in yourself and then you need to believe that yes, you are able to achieve the test. You should be able to visualize that. Only then your belief system, your thoughts, your actions would spring out of that abundance of that confidence and hope and growth. I think these are the two reasons. Number one, maybe they operate from the framework of a failure already, and hence they cannot really excel at all. And number two, they might be operating from the framework of I mean they might kind of not really consistently giving their best continuously, or maybe just dropping at the 99th stroke, not necessarily going towards 100 stroke, where exactly results lie.
That's nice, Mr. Rajiv. That's good. Thank you so much. Another question. Almost the questions are actually overlapped. I think we can take this question also. Okay, this is from Sarabjit Kaur. She says, some people work hard, but they face series of failures, while others, even though they don't work hard, okay, they get more success. And they say it's only the luck, actually. What's your opinion on that? I think you already answered, but you can probably give your opinion again in short.
See, this is where I would like to share a small story. If the audience enjoyed story, because stories are such profound things which we kind of drive very fundamental and deeper truths, right? Are you all okay with story? Very short story?
Yeah, yes.
You all are you okay for a short story? Will kind of answer that question.
Yeah, yeah, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, if the answer is yes, let me begin.
I
In
think,
village,
yeah, there's a little audio issue. Yes, maybe, yeah, yes.
in a village, there was a young guy. Okay. Many people call him useless, good for nothing, not a worth fellow at all. What he does, he wakes morning, he roams around, eats food, sleeps. That's daily routine. And one day he was really bogged down and he was really fed up with the kind of comments that his villagers were talking at him. And he went to the cliff of a mountain and then he decided to jump off that cliff to end his life because I mean, he just thought, yeah, that's it, it's done. It cannot go beyond this, right? And that was exactly when he was able to jump off the cliff. A voice told him, "Hey, young man, what's happening? What are you doing?" Apparently, the voice is from the God. And then the young man looked at the sky and said, "God, what is the reason? Why should I live? There's nothing that I'm good for. People call me as useless, worthless. They call me with names, and I just can't take it enough of this life, and I'm going to give it." Then the